Hey, Chef Dez coming at you from my kitchen again, corporate chef of BC Egg. Today we're gonna do something different, but still delicious and incredible. These are my Italian savory crepes. Yes, crepes that are not sweet, they're savory. So this is the perfect menu item for brunch, lunch, dinner, you name it. The first thing we're gonna do is make the crepe batter, and we're gonna start off with 1 cup of milk. Then to that, we're gonna add 1 cup of flour, 1/2 cup lukewarm water, 4 large BC eggs. Always remember, every single large BC egg has 14 key nutrients, all 9 essential amino acids, over 6 grams of the highest quality protein you can get. And 1 large egg, it's only 80 calories. So let's put those 4 eggs in there. Along with 1/4 cup of melted butter, 4 teaspoons of white sugar, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And we'll put a lid on there and process until smooth. You're gonna wanna take a second to stop and scrape down the sides too. You can see sometimes we get a bit of flour stuck on the inside of the blender. So we wanna make sure we take the opportunity to scrape that flour off and make sure it gets blended into the crepe batter and process a little more. You're gonna wanna let this crepe batter rest for about 1/2 hour or even up to 24 hours in the refrigerator. It's important for the gluten in this crepe batter to relax so we have nice, delicate crepes. You may also be wondering why I put sugar in this crepe batter if we're making savory crepes. You need a little bit of sugar in the batter to help with the browning of these crepes in the pan. So I'm gonna let this batter rest while we make the tomato filling for these crepes. The first thing we want to do is take a 398 ml can of diced tomatoes and drain them. We don't want all that excess liquid in there because that would make our crepes soggy. I just give it a good shake, make sure I can drain as much as I can off those tomatoes. And then we're going to put those tomatoes in a mixing bowl. You can reserve that tomato juice for another application. Then to those tomatoes, we're going to add 1/3 cup of chopped black and green olives, 2 tablespoons of minced red onion, 1 minced garlic clove, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, and then fresh cracked pepper to taste. And then we're just gonna mix that up. And that's our tomato filling. Okay, it's time to make the crepes. The first thing you wanna do after you let that batter rest is just take it. You can see that it settles a little bit, and you just wanna stir it up just to make sure it's an homogeneous mixture. Then you wanna preheat a nonstick pan over medium heat. Then we want to coat that pan with just a little bit of butter. So I just use a silicone pastry brush. Then for each crepe, we take 1/4 cup of the batter and we swirl the pan around a little bit, just so it coats the bottom of the pan. You want to try and make sure it doesn't come up the sides of the pan too much because you don't want it to be too delicate on the edges. It doesn't take long for that underside to brown, so you just want to take a spatula, loosen up the edges, and have a look underneath. See that? Nice golden brown. I like to use my fingers to flip it. It's a little easier. It's a little hot. And you cook the other side until that gets brown. You have a look. Nice golden brown. And we take it out. And you're gonna make a stack of these crepes on that same dinner plate to help them stay warm. Then continue making the crepes in the same manner. It's important to note that you only need the butter for the first crepe. There's enough butter in the batter to support the rest of the crepes from sticking. All right, we have our stack of crepes. Let me show you now how we're gonna assemble these. First, we're gonna take 1 crepe and place it on the countertop. This recipe will make 12 crepes. On the top half of the crepe, you're gonna place a teaspoon of finely grated Parmigiano Reggiano. Then you're gonna place some thin Italian ham on top of that. I'm using a Coppa di Parma, but you can use whatever Italian ham you like. Then we're gonna take a rounded tablespoon of that tomato and olive filling and just evenly spread it around the ham. Then another teaspoon of finely grated Parmigiano on top of there. Then fold the bottom half over the top half and fold from left to right to get a triangle shape. Then we're gonna take that gently and place it on a baking sheet. Then keep doing that until all of the crepes are filled and on the baking sheet. All right, there's our last one. Before these go in a preheated 350-degree oven, the next thing you want to do is sprinkle some more Parmigiano over the top. How much is up to you? Then in that 350-degree oven for about 8 to 10 minutes, just until they're warmed up and that cheese is melted. Oh, these smell incredible. The last thing I want you to do is just garnish with a little bit of fresh chopped parsley, just to give it a little splash of green. Wow, they look amazing. This makes an awesome display, just putting the sheet pan on the table at brunch, lunch, or dinner, and people can just help themselves. Now comes my favorite part. What I love most about this is having the tomatoes and the olives coming together with the Italian ham and the Parmigiano. I know you're gonna love this recipe. Make sure you're checking out the website at bcegg.com for a whole bunch of other great recipes, tips and tricks. And this is Chef Dez signing out. Where are you getting your protein from?